Hair sticking up everywhere. The humidity has been something else, especially in the house. But the AC guys are going to come and fix the fan that never stops running tomorrow, so hopefully that'll help lower the humidity in the house, which has probably been really good for me, but I don't like it. Because everything has that damp, clammy feeling. So, I need to run a dehumidifier. But, here we are. Also, we saw, I think it's a hawk, but it might be a kite. The very small, kind of grayish brown. There were a pair of them. And I saw it on top of the tree, or I saw one, then we saw the other one flying around, and then and it got really confusing, because there were two of them. And I took a whole bunch of pictures, and a couple of the pictures came out good. Whether or not I'll be able to figure out what they are, I don't know. Because they're at the top of the tree, and my zoom is only so good on my phone. But it was really cool. It was a really neat experience. So yeah, that was epic and awesome. Okay, all right, but we're here to do. Oh, and by the way, rain much? They said it's a 90% chance of rain today, and I'm like, just like yesterday afternoon, I'm like, we didn't get any rain yesterday. There is a tropical storm in the Gulf, but it doesn't look like it's going to make landfall, but apparently it's going to hit us earlier. They were originally saying Friday and Saturday, and now they're saying today and tomorrow, and by Friday it's, so. Y'all be careful out there if you hit the rain, because, they said 90% flood risk and flooding risk, so. Turn around, don't drown. Okay, so we're doing Hidden Power of the Bible. Let's do the housekeeping. All the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email info@creativelife.org. That will get you one email a week. Tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot. So click here now means it is also a blind CC, which means nobody will see your email. You won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. All right, and then I mentioned the social media merely from the standpoint we do not monetize it. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So we ask you to go like, subscribe, follow based on which platform you're on, and then engage with the individual posts by reacting, commenting, and sharing. Bumps us in the algorithm. So a free and easy way you can support Center is by getting our stuff in front of more people. So we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark, and I'm the running Rev Ryan across all the social medias that I am on. So there we are. Okay, now, as I said, Hidden Power of the Bible. I'm telling you, I love the original title, The Bible in Light of Religious Science, which is a mouthful. But I also like to show how thick this book is, or rather, how thin it is, because obviously Ernest didn't tackle the whole Bible, because there's a whole lot in it. The Bible is a library. It is not a book. It is a bunch of books bound together. So it is a library. What he did was he pulled out what he felt were the most relevant to us today. I would argue he pulled out his favorites. So what we are currently tackling what he thinks about Matthew 7. Because what he's doing is he's giving us his selections from and then talking about them. So we're only going to do today because one's really short and the other one's fairly long. We're going to do Pearls and Swine, yay, and Scientific Prayer. So that is what we are tackling in from Matthew 7 today. So, obviously, we are going to start with Pearls and Swine. The sacredness of truth is given value by the teaching that we should not cast pearls before swine. Spiritual truths cannot be taught to those who will not accept them. The wisdom of this world is foolishness to a greater wisdom, and the wisdom of spirit is often overlooked by human foolishness. We should not forget that Jesus was an illumined soul. He saw clearly that which we only look for. This is why he spoke as one having authority. Since he was able to prove his wisdom by his works, we shall do well to accept his teachings. Okay. And that's it. That's all he has to say about pearls before swine. So here's it's one of those conversations of most of the time it's not worth arguing with people. If they disagree with you, it is not worth arguing with people. You are not going to change their mind. Okay? The only time it is worth arguing with people whose minds you are not going to change is if there is somebody in the room that needs to know that they are not alone. Okay? So when he says don't cast pearls before swine, don't argue with people whose minds you can't change. Unless there is somebody in the room that needs to know they're not alone. Meaning somebody has said something that is awful and you need to say something back so that somebody else in the room knows that what this person has said is not okay. Other than that, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Just no. You know, it will make the world a whole lot easier to get along if we don't do that. Although occasionally now I do still point out, because a coworker and I were talking about the cyclospora outbreak, and I said, well, yeah, because this body of, this governing body rolled back these rules. And she was like, oh, well, that was kind of stupid. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's the administration you voted for. But I didn't say that out loud. So, because I'm not a fool. That is pearls before swine. It is one of the reasons why we lean into the teachings of Jesus, because Jesus was an illumined soul, as he said, and there is much that we can glean from his teachings, and it is the reason why he is still relevant 2,000 years later. All right, now let's do scientific prayer. We now come to a definite teaching regarding prayer. We shall receive that for which we ask. It shall be opened to us when we knock, and we shall find that which we are searching. This teaching implies the definiteness of spiritual and mental work. God is intelligent-minded spirit, and there is a direct response from this intelligence to our intelligence. If we ask for bread, we shall not receive a stone, but we are told that we must ask, believing if we are to receive. Now, Jesse does like to say, if we ask for bread, we won't receive a stone. We may not receive bread either, but what we'll receive is a recipe and ingredients. We still have to do some of the work. So, there's that. Here again, we are meeting the law of cause and effect in the teachings of Jesus. Prayer is a mental as well as a spiritual function of intelligence. Ooh, that's a good one. It is a certain manner of approach to the spirit, a conscious act of the mind, a concrete experience of the knowing faculty. Prayer should be direct and specific, and should always be accompanied by a positive receptivity. God cannot answer prayers which have no meaning. The answer to the prayer is in the prayer when it is uttered or thought. Oh, no, keep going. We do not pray aright when we are in opposition to the fundamental harmony. The whole teaching of Jesus relative to prayer is that God will answer when we pray aright. Jesus points to the fact if we, being human and consequently limited, know how to give good gifts to our children, how much more will God give good things to those who ask? And he explicitly tells us to ask directly for what we want. So in other words, don't hint around for it. Although we do teach not to get too specific. Like you can't give an address, you can't give a VIN number, you can't give a person's name. You can just the qualities up. Because when you give an address, a VIN number, or one, you may be taking free will away from somebody else. Like they may not be done with it. And two, you limit the way spirit can bring it to you. That's why we say not to get. You want to be direct and specific, but not that specific. Okay? If we ask for bread, we shall not receive a stone. This must be true if we are dealing with intelligence. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that people should do to you, do you even to them, for this is the law and the prophets. How clearly this states the law while referring to the prophets who already taught the same law. So, and Jesse does like to lean into that. It's like that, because I've heard him say that about if you pray for bread, you'll not receive a stone. Okay, knock and it shall be open for you. Ask and you shall receive, but you do have to believe that you're going to receive it. And he says, because God doesn't just work that way. You don't ask for bread. God just doesn't hand you a loaf. What God might do is bring your attention to the ad for the bread on sale, or provide the ingredients and the recipe so that you still have to do your part in this. That's why he said it's mental and spiritual work. It's not just, one. But that's kind of where Ernest got going. He's like, you know what? Jesus prayed in this really specific way. Maybe we should do that. And here we are, 100 years later, over 100 years later, still grooving on what this man discovered about the way Jesus taught. And in here, even he's saying, look, Jesus is bringing your attention to what they've been teaching the whole time. The prophets taught it, and he calls it the golden thread that runs through everything. It's like you look around and everybody has a piece of the truth, and a lot of the times it's the same piece of truth. It's like, okay, there's one. So, sorry, it should not be. I fell asleep in the 7 o'clock hour last night. So, but that's kind of what's going here. So we'll have two short ones and a long one tomorrow. It's the Brotherhood of Man. So I don't know what I'll call it in God and creation. So we'll pick it back up tomorrow. I just think we should stop there because that's a lot. All right, beloved. So now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. You got this day. Dance in the rain if you get it. Stay out of the thunderstorms if you get those. Turn around, don't drown if you don't know how deep the water is, or even if you know how deep the water is and it has a current. Okay? It only takes a couple inches to pick up very heavy things and move them. So be aware. Day. A cuddle your fur babies day, a drink plenty of water day, a be very aware of the heat day. Because originally I had heard it was going to be 99. Now I don't know. Bertha just changes all things, right? So a good knowing about Bertha day, because we could use the rain, but we don't need the floods. Day. Make sure you make time to sit down and rest day. A you got this day. A take care of business day. A stop putting that task off day. A do what you got to do day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You're a beloved expression of the divine. You're a brilliant light, divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, an absolutely beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time at your own pace. Very important part of that statement. And, as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are godly. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. Because the divine only knows good. And that is the good news. All right, beloveds. As I said, I'm going to move on to the process of my day. So, Reverend David should be on sometime this afternoon. I'll be back with you in that 9:15 space. So take care of yourself. Know that you are loved.